Something I've learned that I believe is often forgotten, dismissed, or pushed to the side is that your body, your gut, and your intuition are all incredible resources when it comes to improving your gut health. You have more answers than you give yourself credit for, and sometimes the thing we really need to do is simply turn down the volume of external noise and information that we're consuming, get really quiet, and just listen. Give your body and your gut a chance to guide you and to tell you what you truly need to feel your best. Good morning. Today is a what I eat in a day for gut health as a vegan, and I'm going to start out with oatmeal this morning. I've just been really loving this specific oatmeal. It is absolutely divine. I soak all of my grains overnight, including my oatmeal. So in a mason jar, I combine about 1/3 cup of oatmeal with a tablespoon of buckwheat, about 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and hot water. I add buckwheat to the soaking process because it's rich in the enzyme phytase, and that enzyme helps to break down the phytic acid in oats, and then the apple cider vinegar also helps to break down that phytic acid, and that makes it easier for your gut to digest the oats. I know soaking your oatmeal overnight is an extra step, and please know that not everyone has to do this, so definitely find out what works best for you and your body, but I have noticed that it does help my gut digest the oats, and it makes it easier to cook them in the morning. They cook a lot faster, and I'm just a big fan of that. After my oats are done cooking on the stovetop, I add yogurt, orange slices, blueberries, raspberries, hemp seeds, sprouted pumpkin seeds, and almond butter. I really like almond butter, so I load it up. This looks so good. I love this oatmeal. This is my new joy in the morning since I stopped drinking coffee. I wake up in the morning so excited and looking forward to this little gift here. I also love to eat sweet potato toast some days too now. If you saw my what I eat in a week for a good gut health video, you know I tried that for the first time in that video, and it is now a staple. I even sometimes make it as a dessert. Right now I'm in the process of letting go of control and my grip on this diet, so I'm being much more of an intuitive eater and allowing myself to eat whatever I need because my body knows best. I just need to trust my gut a little bit more instead of freaking out and beating myself up for accidentally having some sugar or some gluten or a cup of coffee. I really need to let that fear go because I know it's not serving me and it's making it even worse because your brain and gut are connected, and when you start freaking out over foods and fearing foods, then your gut will of course react to that food. So I'm working on just really focusing on what feels good for me and what my body's craving. And let me just say, since I've been doing that, my gut has been very happy. Hello. So it is lunchtime. I am having lunch a little bit late. It's like 3:23 right now. I typically for lunch eat leftovers of dinners. I bulk cook dinners. And let me just tell you, this recipe is a little bit of a Frankenstein recipe because I merged 2 recipes together at one point, and I don't know why I ended up doing that. I just felt like intuitively pulled to do it. And when I tried it for the first time, I freaked because it tastes almost exactly as a childhood recipe of mine. So I've been so obsessed with this meal ever since making it the first time. To make this fantastic mushroom sweet potato stew, I'm slicing up 2 cartons worth of cremini mushrooms, 3 celery hearts, 3 carrots. Wait, good girl. and 1 large sweet potato. After I'm done with this initial prep, I add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a pot. And I honestly don't measure things out, and you'll see that throughout this video. Next, I'm adding about 1 inch of minced fresh ginger, and I cook the ginger until it becomes fragrant and slightly toasted. Then I add in the carrots and celery, and I cook these for about a minute, and I add some veggie broth and cook them a little bit longer until they're soft. Next, I'm adding in the creminis and cooking them until they become small in size and a bit golden. Then I add in 2.5 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, and this is probably the only thing that I actually measure in this recipe. Next, I am adding in garlic powder just because I don't feel like mincing fresh garlic. I add a little bit of salt, some pepper, and about half a can of coconut cream. Then I add in the sweet potato, and I add in some more broth, not too much, just enough to cook the sweet potatoes properly. I bring the pot to a boil, and then I reduce it to a simmer, and I let it simmer until the sweet potatoes are cooked through and fork tender. While I'm waiting for that to happen, while the stew is cooking, I prep some dino kale. Before adding the kale to the stew, I take about 1/3 of the stew and I blend it up, and then I add it back in, and this really thickens it up beautifully. Lastly, I add in the kale and I cook the stew for another 5 minutes or so, and then I serve it warm. I love serving stews with yogurt because of the probiotics for my gut, and I'm using 𝐂𝐸 unsweetened almond yogurt. Just needs to cool off a little bit. I think I microwaved it for too long. I also ended up making myself a little sourdough piece of toast to go with it. I don't add any butter or salt or garlic or anything just because I feel like the soup is enough. I dip it and it's absolutely wonderful. It just makes me so happy. Hello. I just took Izzy on a walk and we had the best time in the sun. It's been so nice just getting outside, and this is another way that I'm helping myself with my codependency and my fear of doing things alone, is taking her to our little special favorite place and walking her by myself. Because I get really anxious, I repeat to myself that I am safe and that everything's fine, and I try to drop into the present moment, enjoy the sunshine, and it's been absolutely incredible. So that was really fun today. I'm sorry if you can hear my upstairs neighbor's dog barking like crazy, but yesterday after filming lunch, I just really felt like I needed a break from filming. I had some things pile up with my basic self-care that needed to get done, like I needed to do my laundry, needed to just clean up the apartment. And you know, for my self-love habits that are helping me realize my worth and improve my self-worth video, that prioritizing self-care for me is a non-negotiable, and so I just took the break. I listened to my gut. I didn't feel like filming. I'm honestly all about breaking the rules here. It's like my rebellious teenager side coming out again. If your gut, your intuition is telling you to take it slow and to take a break or to get something done so that you can feel like your best self, no questions asked, just do it. Today I'm gonna be making some 𝐾𝐞𝐭'𝐬. I'm really excited. So I have 2 cups of organic basmati rice soaking, and this has been soaking since yesterday. So basically, to soak your grains overnight, all you have to do is, it's a 1 cup to 1 tablespoon ratio. You do 1 cup of grain to 1 tablespoon of an acid. And I like to use apple cider vinegar. So I did 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in here, and then you add warm water. You don't add cold. You wanna make sure it actually breaks down the phytic acid so it's easier for your stomach and your gut to digest everything. It's so windy where we live. I'm sorry. I know my microphone picks up on that, but I just wanted to share this little tip. I don't know if you guys do this too, but for Instant Pot recipes, because I'm going to be cooking the rice and the red lentils in the Instant Pot, I actually have a note on my phone of all the grains and beans and legumes that we tend to use the Instant Pot for. So for the basmati, it's 2 cups of rice and 2 cups of water for 6 minutes on high pressure, and then a natural release. So we're gonna do that. So for the red lentils, the ratio is 1 cup to 2.5 cups of water. I'm doing 1.5 cup of lentils, so I'm gonna do 3 3/4 cups of water. In a large pot, I added some coconut oil. I accidentally didn't get it on camera, but I did about a tablespoon. And next I'm adding in some fresh minced up ginger, a bay leaf, and fennel seeds. I toast these for a couple of minutes until they become very fragrant. Then after that, I'm adding in my pre-cooked basmati rice. I'm adding in some veggie broth so it doesn't stick and burn to the bottom. Then I'm adding in some seasoning. So I'm doing 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. I'm adding cumin, turmeric, pepper, ground fenugreek seed, salt, coriander, cinnamon, and ground mustard seed. I accidentally forgot to add the carrots in the beginning so I could soften them up, but I'm just adding them in now. They were a bit crunchy, but it didn't bother me. Then as soon as the red lentils were done cooking, I added them into the pot and I cooked the 𝐾𝐞𝐭'𝐬 for another 15 minutes. To serve, I'm adding cilantro on top. It's so good. And I just want to make a quick note that I felt like the 𝐾𝐞𝐭'𝐬 ended up a little bit too dry, so I added some more veggie broth to it. I do favor a more porridge-like consistency. So the first time I heard about Ayurveda, I was instantly fascinated by it. I'm definitely no expert, so if you have any questions, I'm not the person to ask. But I took a quiz by Sahara Rose and I found out that in my body, Vata is my dosha, which is super interesting because in my human design chart, I have a cold thirst for my digestion, which is basically I should be eating things that are cooler, that are calming to my gut, that are below my body's temperature. And I've noticed I actually do better with that. But with Ayurveda, with being a Vata, I'm supposed to incorporate more spices that are warmer, eating cooked foods, warmer foods. So it's kind of contradictory. What I'm doing to figure it out and just see what my body likes is eating my food more at room temperature and still eating cooked foods. I think the one thing that I wish I did sooner was stop Googling and researching how to heal my gut, because with the Whole30 diet and all of these different points of view, it can feel really intimidating and like you need to cut everything out. And I was starting to be scared of eating gluten. I was starting to be scared of eating beans and all these things that are very fundamental for my diet and things that I really truly enjoy eating that I feel like my gut doesn't have a hard time digesting, but I cut those out because of fear. The biggest tip that I have if you're also healing your gut is to listen to your gut. Really keep a food diary, figure out what works for you, what works for your body, and just experiment. Don't be too rigid with it because stress actually causes more problems. So you don't want to be stressing yourself out trying to eliminate everything from your diet. I made 𝐾𝐞𝐭'𝐬 a while back and it was so good, so I'm really excited for this. I hope you enjoyed this What I Eat in a Day for Gut Health video. If you did, it would mean the world to me if you could hit the like button down below. Feel free to subscribe if you feel called to, and I can't wait to spend more time with you in the next video. Bye!